Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am going to be swatching the new Blend Bunny and May Pang eyeshadow palettes. Well, the whole collection. So I bought the whole entire collection on launch day and it got to me so fast. So we have the, what is this? 20 shade matte palette. And I don't know if you can see, but parts of the packaging is like fuzzy, like mold, which is kind of cool, but like kind of gross at the same time if you've ever like seen mold up close. But it's so cool. The artistry, the photography, the packaging is just incredible. Incredible. And then they also came out with a 6 iridescent shade palette called the Fluorescence. And they came out with a lip product. Where did the lip product go? There it is. So this is the Blue Tears Lip Glaze. Hi everyone, welcome to the swatch portion of my video. So the process of how I'm going to do this is I'm going to put a base on my eyes. I'm going to use the MAC Longwear Paint Pot in Soft Ochre. I am going to be using the Singe Beauty EO8 brush for my swatches. That's what it looks like. And then in between my swatches, I'm just going to be wiping my eye off with a makeup eraser washcloth with just some water. I'm going to swatch each of the matte shades on both my eyes, a different shade on each eye, wipe them off, you know, so on and so forth. But I really want to do eye swatches because I think that tells a lot about, one, you can see how it looks on my more yellowy, light medium skin tone, and also how it blends. You know, Blend Bunny's matte formula is to die for. So I just wanted to show you this so you can see it in real time, how well it blends out. So with that, let's get started. And I should mention that I'm going to be cleaning my brush off with the Sigma color switch. You can see mine's really dirty. So the first shade we're going to go into, the first two shades are going to be Oxygen and Spoil. And Oxygen is described as a matte warm white, and Spoil is described as a matte robin's egg blue. So that's what Oxygen looks like all over my lid. Now these colors are going to look different depending on the undertone that you have. It's going to blend in with your skin unless you use like a white base. So that's what Spoil looks like. So that's Spoil and Oxygen. Hopefully you can see them okay. Sorry if my bangs are in the way. Okay, now the next shade is going to be Asper, which is described as a matte pale yellow, and then Neo, which is described as a pale peach. Just kind of packing it on the lid and kind of blending it up towards my crease. Oh, I love that. Just like that. Maybe just going a little bit more. See that? So nice. Such a nice color. I love this color. I don't know if it's because I have a little bit more of a yellowy undertone that I love yellow. Love yellow. It's one of my favorite colors. I don't know, you can't see, but actually my mic that I have is yellow. Not so much I like yellow. Neo. This one might be hard to see on my skin tone because I'm not using a white base as my eye primer. My eye primer is like the color of my skin. Soft ochre definitely is more yellowy. The paint pots from MAC, they have so many different colors for depending on your skin tone. I think Painterly is one of the most popular ones, but I think that one's too pink for me. So I don't know if you can see that, but that's what Neo looks like. Hopefully I'm zoomed in enough where you can see it. Asper, Neo. Love them. More primer on. And if you're wondering why I'm putting primer on in between, it's because that's how I never wear my eye makeup without a primer, so I feel like it would be a disservice if I swatched them on my eyes without a primer, because I really feel like a primer makes a difference, personally. So that's why I'm torturing my eyes even more by putting a primer on in between. Okay, next two shades we have our Whisper and Velvet. And Whisper is described as a matte pale mauve grayish, and Velvet is described as a matte olive green. So I'm going to go ahead and put Whisper on my brush, and I'm going to put it on my right eye. Oh, this is so pretty. I can't wait to do some looks with these. Now, I am not nearly as talented as May, but I do love to play with color. So there it is all over my lid. So that's Whisper. Such a pretty shade. I like that. I mean, the description of it, a mauve grayish, is like perfect because it's not too gray. Because I'm someone that, because I think I have such a yellow undertone in my skin, that I really don't like how grays look on me personally. And I like how this still shows up purple on my eye and not just gray. So I really appreciate that. And then we'll go on to the next eye. Do Velvet. Oh, this is so pretty. Sorry if I yelled into the mic. Just gonna add a little more. Oh, that's Velvet. Such a pretty green color. So we get Whisper, and Velvet. Okay, next shades in the palette are Sepula and Veil. Sepula is described as a matte mustard yellow, and Veil is described as a matte burgundy red. Love a good mustard yellow. Oh yeah, that is a mustard yellow. Oh, so pretty. Love it. I'm just going to go in a little bit more just to bump up the opacity just a little bit. Hopefully I'm in focus. God, please let me be in focus. So this is, oh, I'm sorry, Serpula? I should have probably checked how to pronounce these names. I did see from May herself saying that each color in the matte palette is based off of a different mold. So, Serpula, I'm assuming is what it's called, but that's what that looks like. It is stunning. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, and then I'm next, my left eye, I'm going to go in with Veil. The burgundy. Whoa! You see that pigment? Holy cow. Okay, let's blend that. I think we're starting to get into the darker colors, so I think I might have picked up too much, which that is my fault. But do you see how well it's blending? I know, obviously, if I was doing an eye look, it wouldn't be this messy, but look how far it's blending out. Like, it's blending so far out. Even when I picked up too much, it's just, wow. I did not mean to pick up that much on my brush. That was user error. So that's Veil, the matte burgundy red. And then this is Serpula, the matte mustard yellow. On to the next two colors. So the next two colors are Histo, which is a matte earthy brown, and Mildew, which is a matte navy blue. Now that we're getting into some darker colors, I'm actually going to tap this off and kind of go in with a lighter hand. Now I think, unfortunately, the further along we get, the blending is probably not going to be so good because my eyes are just so irritated from wiping makeup, the shadows off and then putting them back on and wiping off again. And I can see that already. So that is not because of the shadow. That is because I probably didn't let the primer set and long enough, and my eyes are my eyes are tired. So if you can see that, I apologize. But I really wanted to do this for you guys. So that's Histo, the matte earthy brown, which I like. I think it looks a little cooler tone on me, but not too much. But I like it. It's a nice color. And then Mildew Navy. I love a good navy. I love a good navy shadow. This one I'm going to be very gentle in building this up because I don't want to go overboard like I did with the maroon, even though it's pretty. Now this blended, oh, it's actually not. I was going to say, because I have a yellow undertone and this is blue, it might look a little green, but it's actually not. Maybe if I blend the edges, it might look a little green. Packing a little bit more on. Sorry if I'm not in frame. And there's Mildew, the matte navy. So pretty. So we got histo, and mildew. Okay, now for the last half. The two shades we're going to have next is Stain, which is described as a matte rich fuchsia, and acrimonium. Hopefully I edited that out. Acrimonium, which is described as a matte palest pink beige. So these are colors that I don't normally go for, but I'm interested to see how they show up and how they look. I think May also said you could use Stain as a editorial blush too, which I don't know if I would, but something to keep in mind. It's actually very pretty. So that's Stain. Hopefully it doesn't stain my eyes. God, I'm sorry. I am really good at bad dad jokes, so I apologize in advance if that's not your cup of tea or your type of humor. And then on my left eye, we're going to go into the word I can't pronounce, acrimonium. Okay. So this, I mean, they're not kidding. It's a pale, pale pink. It is really pale. Hopefully you can tell or see that it is pink on me. Because it's lighter than my skin tone, I don't know if it's going to show up pink. So that's acrimonium. Hopefully it does. It's like I mean, like they described it, the palest pink beige. I don't know if I necessarily see beige. It just seems like a very light pink. Sorry. I'm praying that this whole thing is in frame. So we got Stain, and acrimonium. The next two shades we have is Spora, which is a matte red orange, which I'm really excited to see what that looks like, and then Organic, which is a matte deep gray. So since these are a little bit more pinketed, I'm just doing a light amount to start and start blending that. Add a little more. Reds normally look so orangey on me. This one looks so good. I hope you can see that it's actually red and not orange. That's Spora. It's such a pretty color. Okay, now we're gonna go into Organic, which is gray, which it just says it's a deep gray. I wish it described if it was, you know, warm or cool. I guess we'll figure it out once I apply it to my eye. It actually is showing up. It actually kind of looks more like a blue-green gray to me. And I don't know if that's just because I have more a yellow undertone. if it'll look different on someone with a different undertone, but on me, it's looking, I mean, you guys can also be the judge and tell me. I'm sorry, guys, this blending is getting atrocious. My poor eyeballs. So that's organic. We got Spora. Organic. The next two shades are Fusarium, which is a matte orangey brown, and Derma, which is a matte pale chartreuse. Sorry if I pronounced any of those incorrectly. I don't know my molds. The names of them, at least. Or were they technically B species? I don't know. I'm not a science girly. I'm a creative girly. This is a gorgeous brown color. So that's Fusarium. Again, I'm so sorry if my eyes is looking pretty red. I have pretty sensitive skin, so it's definitely getting irritated. But this is a gorgeous color. Absolutely gorgeous. And then next we have Derma, which is the chartreuse, which doesn't look chartreuse to me. I don't know. It looks more minty, I guess, but I mean, I guess I don't know my colors. Whatever it is, it's really pretty. Again, I think because chartreuse has, I consider chartreuse more of a yellow green. That's Derma. Such a pretty green color. These colors are all so unique that, like, it's getting my creative juices flowing, like different color combos that I want to do together. And I don't know, it's just getting my creative juices flowing. Sorry. So that's Fusarium and Derma. Oh, all right. Final four. We're getting there. Okay, the next shades we have are Maro, which is a matte crimson red, and Damp, which is a matte palest sky blue, which looks absolutely stunning. So Maro looks very pigmented, so I'm going to go in with a very light hand. Blend Bunny mattes, they just blend so well, even when your eyelids are raw, like mine. Sorry. Trying to blend this a little bit better in the crease. Doing my best. Sorry if you hear footsteps, baby footsteps. That is my dog, Murphy. Papa's isn't home, and since Mama's is working, he is obviously very upset and needs attention all the time. So that is Maro. Very pretty. It'll be interesting to see how it compares to Veil, but this I definitely see the more reddish purple. So next I'm going in with damp. Oh, that's so pretty. Now again, damp, it'll be interesting to see how it looks compared to Spoil. That was the one of the first colors I swatched. So unfortunately this, again, because it's so light compared to my skin, it's just looking kind of white on me. Now again, if I were to use just a plain white eye base, instead of a more yellowy skin tone base, this would definitely show up more blue. Try to pack a little bit more onto the lid to see if that'll help. But hopefully you can see it looks blue. So that's damp. I would probably use damp is either like an inner corner, a matte inner corner highlight, and maybe potentially to blend out maybe like the, like maybe the organic or mildew. But yeah, unfortunately, I think it just is looking a little one-noted on my eye. It's mildew. Or sorry, not mildew, Mara one more time. All right. The last two. I'm so excited. And my eyes are too. I'll be right back. All right. Final two shades. Thank goodness, because I don't know if my eyelids can handle anymore. Now, I know there's the iridescent palette, but I can't do it right now. So either I'll take a break and I'll do those eye swatches and you'll see them, or I think I'm just gonna swatch them on the back of my hand for you guys. Just because my eyelids have a limit and I think they surpassed it. So anyway, our final two colors are Yulo, which is a matte deep cool brown, and humid, yeah, humid, which is the matte jet black. So it'll be interesting, since these are the last two colors and I'm putting them next to each other, if you'll be able to see a difference. Okay, yeah, so this is definitely more cooler toned than some of the other browns in the palette. And again, I apologize for the horrible blending. My eyelids are just shot. Probably should have taken a break, but I really wanted to get this video up for you guys. So that's Yulo. Ulo? Yulo? Ulo? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. But it's a very nice cool tone brown. And then finally we have Humid, which is the black in the palette. Which I feel like with the Rotten palette, I feel like you have to have a black. I don't think you always need a black in a palette, but I think for this palette it makes sense. And of course, Bunny did not disappoint with their black. It is phenomenal. So that's Humid. And that's the Yulo or Ulo. Okay, now let's swatch the lip glaze. This is what it looks like. Inspired by the bioluminescent algae, often called blue tears, this glaze captures the beauty of one of nature's most stunning phenomena. With a stormy, translucent gray base, suspended prismatic sparkles shift seamlessly from electric blue to violet as light moves across the lips. I'm so sorry. I was out of frame. Good job, Brenna. So let's put this on my lips. If you're wondering, right now I'm wearing the Benefit moisturizing matte lip tint in French Toast. So that's what I have on my lips right now. So I'm just gonna put this over top of it, and then actually first I'm gonna swatch it on the back of my hand. Ooh, doesn't really smell like anything. Wow, yeah, that's stunning. For a blue lip, sparkly lip, sign me up. Gosh, my eyelids look so rough. I'm so sorry. That's stunning. Okay, I'm gonna dip in it again. I kind of wish it's a little hard to take out, but let's put it. I'm trying not to get lip color on the doe foot. Ooh, it's very vampy. I don't know if this is the right lip color for it, um, but it's pretty and I like the feeling of it. It's not too sticky, but it's not too like oily either. It's nice. It's growing on me. I think, you know what, this would look really cool over, which I might do in a video, like just line and fill your lips in with like a black lip liner and then put this over top. Ooh, I might need to try that. But yeah, that's what the lip looks like. And then we are going to quickly swatch the iridescent palette. So this is just an iridescent palette, which I don't think I've had like an iridescent palette from Blend Bunny. I know they came out with one with Ellis Atlantis, and I didn't pick that up. So I'm really excited to try this formula from Blend Bunny. So the first shade we have is Loom, which is an iridescent blue. Next shade is Floret, Floret. Sorry, Floret, which is an iridescent violet. And then Bloom, which is an iridescent pink. So there are those. So we have Loom, Floret, and Bloom. Oh my. Oh my gosh. The camera is not doing it justice. That is stunning. That is so pretty. You see how like, yeah, like you can't really see it and then it just shifts. And then the last three shades, we have Wax, which is an iridescent golden yellow. Lycian, sorry, which is an iridescent mint. and then Ripe, which is an iridescent electric teal. So we have wax, lichen, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. I totally am, I can tell. And then Ripe. I think I have room here. That is stunning. And then I'm actually going to put the last one, the electric teal, over here. So that's where that is. Oh my gosh. Blend Bunny, I am impressed. Now it'll be interesting. I don't have it, but I'm hoping eventually I'll be able to get the Cleona on Top of the World palette, and I am interested to see how that compares to something like this. I mean, obviously I know they're different brands, you know, and they could have completely different formulas, but I'm just curious to see, you know, just how it compares. But these are absolutely stunning. I hope you can see. So pretty. So pretty. All right, guys. Well, that is it. Thank you so much for watching my video. I would really appreciate it if you could give it a like and, you know, subscribe. I will be hopefully uploading more frequently. Um, this is just a hobby for me. If you don't know, I have a full-time job. Um, so unfortunately, I can't promise, you know, a certain amount of videos a week. I'm just starting to kind of get into the groove of things of YouTube. So just bear with me as I try to figure out maybe a little bit of a schedule. But yeah, I hope you liked everything. And yeah, leave comment down below on what kind of videos you'd like to see from me. And I love, you know, constructive, kind feedback is always welcome. But yeah, that's all I got from me. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you next time.